Growth Engine Daily, I'd like you to think about whether you're just delivering a product or you're actually delivering an experience. It came to mind recently when I was working with a client in the catering business, and we were chatting around what do they do, and obviously it's catering, it's outside catering, and we was also talking a little bit about the type of services and packages that they deliver. And they do things for such as weddings, private parties, corporate events, usual stuff, finger buffet. They do it with or without table service. They do it food only, food and table and chairs, tablecloths, decoration, waited staff, etc. You get the idea. We've all been to a corporate event or a private event that's had a private caterer. And we were talking really and getting down to the value proposition, I suppose, where this sort of rings around. And I asked the team, what do we do? And usual, well, we do outside catering. So me playing devil's advocate, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, we go out to people's events and we cook or pre-prepare food and we deliver that. Answers at the end of it, is that a job well done? And there was various discussions around that. Different people said they do weddings, people said they did parties, corporate events, all the things, automotive dealership events, festival events, those type of things. They actually even do food trucks as well for those type of concert things where the hamburgers type things as well. And then they said, so I says, at the end of the day, or the end of the product, or the end of the service delivery, what actually have we achieved? And again, varying answers around the room. Some people were saying that, we've cooked so many meals or served so many plates, associated drinks, comes part of the outside catering, from that side. And then a lot of people said, well, the event's broken down, we pack up, we clean up, we go from there. So I'm saying, well, what have we missed? And this is what I want you to think about today. What have we missed? This outside catering company did outside catering, and it was totally and utterly focused on delivering what it sold instead of delivering the experience through what it sold. So let me give you a little bit more expanded example. So I sit down with the team and I said, well, at the end of the day, what do people say? Yeah, we ordered X number of plates or X number of drinks or X number of food trucks for X number of hours, and we served that product. Is that enough? No. What you should be thinking about is, what experience did people come? How many people came up to the chefs or the service after and said, the way you cooked that beef or the way you presented that was phenomenal. People don't talk about, when people said to you, what did you do this weekend? And so, we had this outside catering company and we had this party and we did this. They don't talk about, we hired this company to serve 300 plates or 300 drinks or put 5 food trucks outside. They don't talk about that. They talk about, wasn't the hog roast great, or the taco stand great, or the way that catering company presented the food. It tasted delicious. They all gave us a like a little favors bag, or doggy bag as you want to call it, to go home with some new recipes in. They gave us and you're creating that experience. And too many businesses are focused on what you deliver instead of the experience that you create. And that's what I want you to think about. I want you to sit down with your teams, or like me, I do a lot of my thinking here in the car. That's when I record these Growth Engine dailies. I do an hour and 10 minutes to work most days, and this is my sort of thinking time. And sit down, find that quiet space, and ask yourself a question. Are we just doing what we're doing, or are we delivering an experience that the client would remember, would want to buy again? There's a great saying by Walt Disney: do what you do so well that people will want to come back and tell the friends. Wow, look, Disney is a dollar-making machine. So think about that. I look at it in our agency. We had a client who recently asked and said, Mike, will you put a funnel in place for us? They didn't want to come into a retainer. That's fine, no problem. We're always happy to do like a piece of project work to start with as a test case to prove the concept, providing there's an opportunity to do a retainer afterwards. We're not really just in let's do a project only. But the point I'm getting here is, will you put a funnel in place? So what are we trying to achieve? Well, I want to get leads. Yeah, but why? What? For what? Are we trying to increase leads? Are we trying to increase revenue? Whatever it would be. So it's about taking that care to understand what that experience is. Who's doing what was one of the questions that we asked. Well, we want to do everything. Okay, so we're doing the strategy. Yeah, we're building the persona. Yeah, we're building the assets. Yeah, we're doing the paid traffic. Yeah, we're doing the optimization. Yeah, great. Okay, so what's your role in it, Mr. Customer? And blank face. Well, that's why we're hiring you. Well, no, your responsibility is to take those leads, follow them up. So do we need to put a sales process in place behind that? Do we need to train your sales team to take these inbound leads forward? And it's about creating that experience. It would have been very easy for us to say, yeah, we'll take the money and we'll just do the funnel, but we actually try to care about the experience that you're getting out of the other end. So we're not just saying we'll build you a funnel and that's what you've ordered, that's what you've paid for, so that's what we've delivered. And hopefully we'll get that result. We're trying to create that experience that people say, yeah, this company actually cares. They could have taken this money, they didn't. They highlighted a lot of other things up front, and then it gave them an informed choice whether they decide to either share some of that responsibility internally or pay us to do that extra work. But ultimately we're working to the third nth degree of why we're doing it, because that experience matters. That smile on the face matters. That's what I'm asking you to think about. So, quick recap. What I want you to do is, number one, acid test your team. Ask them this question. Do we do what we do, or do we achieve the experience that the client expects? Or over-expect? We over-exceed that expectation. Ask that question. Find out. Get it from the people on the team. It doesn't just have to be a sales team. It could be a marketing team. It could be certainly a customer service team. And one of the best things is finance teams. They're the people who get it in the neck when people aren't paying the bills for, they're unhappy. Maybe they're not saying as much to the marketeers or the sales or the account management, but when finance are saying they've cancelled the direct debit because they're not happy or they're not paying this month, that's usually a great way to get that information out of them. So ask that question. Do we just do what we do, or do we do it for the experience it creates and the end result? Once you've established that, sit down and look at each of your products and say, if I deliver this product, yes, I've delivered the product, that's automatic, but what actually does the experience feel like to the client? Write that down. What does it feel like to the client? Why would they tell the friends? I've had a conservatory built, they did a great job, great, but they don't really talk about that after the first week. What they talk about is, we can now sit in the garden with outside with the conservatory open, the kids can play in there, we can have parties in there and drinks in there and great, we can expand it. That's the experience that they're buying, not just buying a conservatory, buying the enhanced living experience, I suppose is what I'm saying. And once you've got that there, do an acid test, score yourself. Number 3, do an acid test and score yourself out of 10, 10 being highest, 1 being lowest. Is the culture right? Fair enough, got that out of the way. Is the products, and is the experience. That experience, what does it feel like? If you bought your own product and you got that end delivery, how would you rate your experience? And let's not fall into we do it better than anybody else job like that, because that's usually BS. It's usually BS. That's what you think. It's not usually what happens. And ultimately the best way to do that is survey your customers. Why don't you ask them this? What is the single biggest delightful experience that you receive from consuming our product or taking delivery of our product? What's the single biggest delightful experience that you had? Let your customers tell you. So I think there's 3 little tips for you. Find out what your culture is and what your staff think. Look at your products and then define an experience that it should create. Then go and ask your customers and see if that marries or see if you've got a disconnect. I'd love to get your feedback. Leave us a question below, leave us a comment below. We'll be happy to add some value to you there and get those answered for you. And as always, we appreciate you continuing your growth engine development. As always, go do the hustle even this morning. Go do the hustle, go make it happen, and we'll catch up with you in another Growth Engine Daily.